Okay, this particular lesson is on conditional statements. Now, conditional statements are usually written in if-then form. So an example we have here at Redbud High School. So if I attend Redbud High School, then I am a musketeer. So the hypothesis is the part that follows the if, not including the word if that follows it. So in this particular problem, the hypothesis is going to be I attend Redbud High School. Again, this is the hypothesis. And the conclusion is going to be, is the part that follows the then. So I am a musketeer is your conclusion. Okay, so like for example, if I say if today is Monday, then tomorrow is Tuesday, my hypothesis would be today is Monday. My conclusion would be tomorrow is Tuesday. So again, the part that follows the if is your hypothesis. The part that follows the word then is your conclusion in a conditional statement. So in general, we talk about, in terms of variables, we talk about if P, then Q, where your hypothesis is usually represented as the letter P, and your conclusion is usually represented by the letter Q. Okay, so now, as you remember probably from English, you don't always write sentences in the same form. You want variety. So it is possible for declarative statement to be written as a conditional statement or vice versa. So one declarative statement we see a lot with geometry is the statement vertical angles are congruent. Okay, so if I would write this particular sentence as a conditional statement, I might say something like this: if two angles are vertical, then they are congruent. So just as a quick review, my hypothesis would be two angles are vertical. That's my hypothesis, or using my letter P. My conclusion would be they are congruent. That's, again, that part that follows the word then. Okay, so if we do a couple examples here, just to identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. So again, it says underline the hypothesis and circle the conclusion of each statement. So in the first one, if I am a farmer, then I drive a John Deere. So your hypothesis would be I am a farmer. My conclusion, I drive a John Deere. Okay, so simple enough. Number two, if I am an athlete, then I drink Gatorade. So my hypothesis would be I am an athlete. My conclusion, I drink Gatorade. Now we're talking about whether or not these statements are true. Just what is the hypothesis? What is the conclusion? The third one, if I play Minecraft, then I am not afraid of monsters. So my hypothesis would be I play Minecraft. My conclusion, I am not afraid of monsters. And the last one, if today is Thursday, then tomorrow is Friday. So my hypothesis would be today is Thursday. My conclusion, tomorrow is Friday. Okay, so I know some of them on the worksheet you have in this particular lesson, you'll be looking at a sentence and just identifying the hypothesis and the conclusion. Okay, so if we continue on, the converse is formed in a conditional statement when you interchange the hypothesis and the conclusion. So if you go back to the previous page, just really quick here, my original statement was right here, if I can find the tools here. So again, if I attend Redbud High School, then I'm a musketeer. So to write the converse of that, you're going to interchange them. So as you look at this other page, it would say, if I am a musketeer, then I attend Redbud High School. You're going to switch them. Okay, so if it was, remember with the variables, if P then Q, when we switch them around, we're going to say if Q then P. Okay, so now, not all statements, just because a statement is true does not mean the converse is true. It kind of depends on the situation. They don't go hand in hand. So maybe can you think of other high schools whose mascot is a musketeer? Okay, if you can, then this particular statement is false. And the counterexample would be that particular school. So a counterexample is an example that shows a statement can be false. And again, it only takes one. You only need to state one example to disprove a statement. Okay, so we're just going to do two examples at the bottom here. You are going to write two conditional statements and their converses, and if it's false, provide a counterexample. So I'm just going to make one up here. So let's say, I'm trying to think of one here off the top of my head. So if I say, oops, I don't want the highlighter, sorry about that. So if an animal is a dog, then it has 4 legs. Okay, assuming your dog's not three-legged dog, that's a true statement for you. So the converse, you're going to switch the hypothesis and conclusion. So you would say, if an animal has 4 legs, then it is a dog. Again, I formed that by just interchanging the hypothesis and conclusion. So we'll look at that particular statement. If an animal has 4 legs doesn't mean it's a dog. Hopefully you're going to think no. So this statement is false. So I know I'm running out of space here. So it says, if false, provide a counterexample. So my counterexample would be, okay, so pause a moment. Think for an animal. Think of an animal that has 4 legs that's not a dog. How about a cat? That's my counterexample. It's just one example that makes the statement false. I could have put goat. Goat is an animal with 4 legs. Or I could have put a cow. A cow is an animal with 4 legs. So any type of animal that you come up with that has 4 legs that's not a dog is going to be a counterexample for this problem. Okay, but again, not all statements are false. So if we go back to the one I said originally, if today, sorry here, not in. So if today is Monday, then tomorrow is Tuesday. That's a conditional statement. So if I look at the converse, I'm going to interchange them. So I would say if tomorrow is Tuesday, then today is Monday. Well, if you think about that one, if tomorrow is Tuesday, is today going to be any day other than Monday? Nope. So this one is a true statement. So again, sometimes they're true, sometimes they're false. There's not one set way either direction. Okay, and that is the basics of conditional statements.